Hello and welcome to Scooped, the ice cream review podcast where we try all the cone creations, signature slushes, and frozen foods on the East Coast to give you the ultimate scoop. My name is Holly Hagman, and with me, as always, is my co-host, husband, and ice cream connoisseur, Paul Percivali. Paul, what was the ice cream thief charged with?
I don't know, Holly. What was it?
A Baskin robbery.
Alright, that was pretty good.
I love the ice cream puns that I find for this thing.
Alright. So that was one that you found?
Yeah, at this point, I don't think I'm writing any of my own ones. I had like 2 ideas.
And you did them already?
I did them, and the rest are going to be borrowed or tweaked from the internet. But they are still fun. This was a fun one.
Okay. Well, yeah, that was a good one.
Thank you.
Moving on.
In our last episode, we reviewed Gabriel's Fountain, which we placed on the A tier level. And for this episode, we are reviewing a science experiment turned sweet treat, Dippin Dots.
Alright. And as always, I will be starting us off with background information about the restaurant/shop.
Yep.
And shop it is. For more than 30 years, Dippin Dots has been creating fun and making memories for fans across the globe. Microbiologist Kurt Jones invented the beaded ice cream concept in 1988 when he used his knowledge of cryogenic technology and his love for ice cream to create Dippin Dots, which has since been America's #1 beaded ice cream brand.
Because apparently there's more than one.
Yes.
Well, we'll get to that.
Which has since been America's #1 beaded brand. Yeah, okay. So, through innovation and imagination, Dippin Dots redefined ice cream. From the first bite of unexpected flavor, Dippin Dots creates an experience that is remarkably fun and unforgettable. Popularity grew, and in the early 1990s, Dippin Dots became the preteen image of fun with friends at malls and amusement parks around the country.
See, that's what I always associate it with, is the amusement park.
You did?
Yeah. I feel like Dippin Dots is an amusement park snack. Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess we know of other locations, right, because we've had to look it up for the podcast, but in my brain, it was always like, you're at the amusement park, you get off a roller coaster, you're walking around with your friends, and everyone goes, hey, you know what sounds good? Dippin Dots. It's a hot summer day, and that's what you get.
No, because I always associated it with shopping, because my mom occasionally got it for us when we and my sister went with her to go to BJ's for, food shopping and whatnot.
Fascinating. Okay. Well, anyway, we're going to finish up the history.
And in 1995, Dippin Dots made its international debut in Japan, where fans of American culture would fall in love with the ice cream of the future. That's a bold statement.
That is what they call themselves, the ice cream of the future.
An icon at amusement parks and stadiums, Dippin Dots is served in nearly every major theme park, and in more than 2/3 of all baseball stadiums in the U.S. Interesting. Not to mention local water parks, amusement parks, and attractions. And Dippin Dots isn't just a treat, it's an experience. When planning their visit, park guests won't skip out of their favorite ride and a cup, or 2, or 3, of their favorite flavors of Dippin Dots.
Do you have a favorite flavor of Dippin Dots?
Nope.
Okay, just checking.
Nope, especially after our experiences with the one that we just tested.
Well, yeah, and we'll get to that in a little bit, but neither do I. Even having had it in the past, I can't say I have a favorite. It's not like something I plan my amusement park trip around, according to this website information that claims that that's what people do.
Yes.
But I don't know. Anywho, so the manufacturing of Dippin Dots Fun fact, liquid nitrogen is used to make the ice cream, and we have a little more details about that from their website as well. So, Dippin' Dots are beads of cryogenically frozen ice cream. That means it's super cold.
Yes.
In case you didn't know that.
Very cold.
Very cold.
Like extra, extra cold.
Yeah, it'll tell us exactly how cold in a moment. We use high-quality ice cream ingredients, the same found in regular ice cream, and flash freeze it into tiny beads. In other words, we freeze it really fast at extremely cold temperatures, negative 320 degrees Fahrenheit, to be exact.
Jesus.
So cold.
Yeah, it seems that way.
So the answer is cold.
Very, very cold. I wish we had something to, like, compare that to.
Yeah, I don't even know how to describe that, because, like, freezing on the Fahrenheit scale is 0, right?
Right.
So, negative 320 degrees. 320 degrees below freezing.
Yeah.
So, it's very cold.
While you do that, I'm going to look up what absolute zero is.
Okay. The ice cream is then packaged and shipped around the world. All Dippin' Dots for our U.S. customers and much of the world are produced at our headquarters in Paducah, Kentucky. And I don't know if I've pronounced that correctly, but if I'm wrong, I'll correct myself later. The liquid nitrogen dissipates during the freezing process, so there is none in your ice cream. And in order to maintain the fun shape that Dippin' Dots has, they must be stored in a freezer that is negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit, much colder than regular ice cream. So, not only is it made at extremely, extremely cold temperatures, but it must be stored at an extremely cold temperature in order to keep it at the appropriate frozen level. Like, in order to keep the beads in their shape, it has to stay extra cold. Are you learning anything while you're searching here?
Well, the temperature of absolute zero is negative 460 degrees. Which means that
That's
if it was
pretty close.
Yeah, if it was 130 degrees less, then it would have reached negative absolute zero, which is like the point when everything stops.
Hang on, I'm doing math.
What are you doing math about?
Because 320 out of 460. We are approximately 70% of the way to absolute zero when we make Dippin' Dots.
Yes.
That's whack.
That's whack. Look, it's bead-shaped.
Yeah, look at that. We'll include a picture of this, about something about absolute zero.
Apparently it can't stop quantum physics, but yes.
But it can help us make ice cream treats,
ice cream.
Apparently.
Yes.
Alright. So, more information about Dippin' Dots and their company as a whole from our friend Paul.
Okay. Dippin' Dots franchising. Operating an award-winning franchise system since the year 2000, now has more than 100 stores and shopping centers locations coast to coast. They have stores? Like, they have legitimate stores?
I think it means, like, store and shopping center locations, meaning like the little kiosk thing that we saw, but like in over 100 locations. Other than the baseball stadiums and the amusement parks and the concert hall, like all of those things.
Okay.
Plus other in-store and shopping center franchises.
I would have just thought there'd be more.
That's how I understand it. But I'm saying the 100 doesn't count all the other places it is. It's just like shopping centers.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
So, today, the franchise model includes co-brand opportunities with sister company Doc Popcorn, the nation's largest popcorn franchise, which was acquired by Dippin' Dots in 2014.
And we did see that at the
Yeah, that makes sense now.
That was what the other thing the guy was selling.
Yeah. The nation's largest popcorn franchise. Okay. Many franchises take their business mobile, serving Dippin' Dots at thousands of fairs and festivals, from food trucks and mobile carts, and in schools and convenience stores. Okay, so they have them in schools sometimes. Interesting. Availability of Dippin' Dots products expands year after year, with 22,000 points of presence across the U.S.
See, that makes more sense now.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
It's not just like
100 places.
100. It's over. Adding it all up, it's 22,000.
Makes sense, yeah. Through a variety of outlets, including e-commerce, drug and convenience stores, fairs, festivals, and events, Dippin' Dots fans can often find their favorite sweet treat just around the corner. Today, Dippin' Dots is part of J&J Snack Foods Corp. NASDAQ dot parenthesis JJSF.
That's their stock market information. The NASDAQ code for them is JJSF.
Interesting. So
J&J
when I
Snack
want to
Foods.
put money into the stock market,
yeah,
that's where I'm going.
You can just look up JJSF as the little code, and you can invest in Dippin' Dots.
Got it. Okay. Is a leader and innovator in beverages and snack foods after the company purchased the Dippin' Dots and Dot popcorn brands in 2022. With over 30 years in business, new generations of Dippin' Dots wait a minute. Didn't they say that they opened up in 2000?
No. The franchising started in 2000. The company opened in 1988.
Okay.
Yes. So Dippin' Dots, like the first Dippin' Dots started in 1988, but then they started like allowing other people to buy it and expand it in 2000.
Got it. So yeah, with over 30 years in business, new generations of Dippin' Dots fans emerge, influenced by their young adult parents who grew up eating Dippin' Dots. Now catering to a generation who does not know a world without Dippin' Dots, the company maintains its vision, creating fun, making memories.
Aww.
Yes.
I think it's also funny that they admit that they are riding on nostalgia. Like, that's pretty much what they're saying here, right? That, like, as new generations emerge, they're influenced by their parents who grew up eating Dippin' Dots.
Oh, they should be careful about any sort of business which tries to completely, coast by on nostalgia.
Well, I don't think they're coasting on it, but I do think they are leaning into it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But their parent company, J&J Snack Foods, doesn't just make Dippin' Dots.
Uh-huh. So, moving on. Other brands owned by J&J Snack Foods include Super Pretzel Soft Pretzels, Ices, Hola Churros.
Hola, like in Spanish?
Hola, yes. I was going to say, is that like Holy Churros?
No.
Luigi's Real Italian Ice, Slush Puppies, Dogster's Ice Cream for Dogs, The Funnel Cake Factors, Whole Fruit Ice Pops, and Philly Swirl Ice Pops.
Yeah, so this company is really into frozen snacks, apparently.
Seems that way.
Even, like, the things that aren't eaten frozen, like the Super Pretzels and the Hola Churros, are served frozen, like, are purchased frozen, that's what I mean, not served.
Right.
They're in the freezer section at your grocery store, and then, you can buy them and bring them home and cook them. Obviously, with things like Ices and these different Italian ice and ice pop companies, those you keep in the freezer and you eat frozen.
Mm-hmm.
So, J&J Snack Foods, I guess, really likes frozen dessert.
Seems to be that way.
And it's actually funny when we get to the flavors, the fact that this place owns Icy affects one of the Dippin' Dots flavors as well, so.
Yes.
But something you may not know is that Dippin' Dots, earlier it was mentioned that Dippin' Dots is the #1 brand of beaded ice cream in the United States. And you might be wondering, well, is there more than one place that makes beaded ice cream? And the answer is actually yes. So, Dippin' Dots has a competitor that is called Mini Melts, which I also find absolutely hilarious because it's just like they even not stole, but I'll get to it later. Anyway, a competitor called Mini Melts that was founded in 2004, and they use a similar concept to make their ice cream. However, Mini Melts uses 14% butterfat in their ice cream, which is why they claim to be the richest ice cream you can get in bead form.
Mm-hmm. I will take their word for it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's accurate, but apparently that's what they say. But a little bit about Mini Melts, because it becomes relevant later. It all started when our CEO, Dan Kilcoyne, started selling Mini Melts at age 13 in his high school cafeteria. How did he do this? I have no idea.
I was about to say, because if he's making it the same way, he would need liquid nitrogen.
It doesn't expand on how, but apparently that's what he was doing. With premium ice cream, unexpected shapes, and craveable flavors, he had a hit on his hands. And from there, Mini Melts has grown to bring joy and fun to big and little kids alike all over the country.
Yes. So, more into the story of Mini Melts. Mini Melts Ice Cream is a family-owned and operated company that was started by the Kilcoynes in the cafeteria at Father Judge High School in Northeast Philadelphia while Dan was a student there. Mini Melts has grown tremendously over the years and has opened 20-plus distribution centers and growing across the United States. With the help of our team, we can proudly say that we are located in thousands of venues, including convenience stores such as Wawa and 7-Eleven. I don't know why my brain froze on that. Family entertainment centers and amusement parks and numerous zoos and aquariums, just to name a few.
So, they're pretty the same concept as Dippin Dots.
Yes.
You can buy them in the same places as Dippin Dots. They're made in a similar way as Dippin Dots. One might say that they are, one and the same.
Besides this so-called, 14% butterfat?
Correct. And so, let me get into why this is important. So, there has been an ongoing feud, and there was a past lawsuit in the Dippin Dots Mini Melts issue. So, according to an article from Smithsonian Magazine, in 2007, Dippin Dots sued Mini Melts over their patent. In the suit, Dippin Dots Inc. versus Frosty Bites Distribution, aka Mini Melts, it was determined that Jones had sold a similar version of the product he eventually patented to more than 800 customers more than a year prior to filing the patent, making the company's claim against Mini Melts unfounded.
Good for them.
The Federal Circuit Court ruled that Dippin Dots' method of making frozen ice cream pellets was invalid because it was obvious. End quote. So, yeah, apparently, because Kurt Jones, the microbiologist who invented Dippin Dots back in 1988, apparently because he was selling the ice cream to people before he got it officially patented, it did some kind of voiding situation. I don't understand the law behind it. Mm-hmm. But the point is,
maybe it's like it made it available for other people to see it.
Maybe.
And because of that, it can't be considered a secret, or it can't be something that he can claim as his now because it's already out there into the public.
I suppose so. So then, 13-year-old Dan Kilcoyne in 2004 decided, hey, I could make this too, and this happens, and then 3 years later, Dippin' Dots says, hey, that's not fair, that's our idea, we're gonna sue you, and they sue them, and nothing happens. The Mini Melts is allowed to continue, and they still exist today.
Obviously.
Yes.
So, in 2011, Dippin' Dots filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in federal court in Kentucky. Again. According to the Times, The company owed more than $11 million to Regions banks on 8 different promissory notes. In 2012, Dippin' Dots secured an offer from an Oklahoma energy executive that would hopefully buy the company out of bankruptcy for $12.7 million. So they were having a rough time.
They were going through it in 2011. Now, I know they still are in operation, Dippin' Dots. They still are at plenty of shopping centers and, malls and amusement parks and stadiums and all of that good stuff. But so is Mini Melts. And this is where the plot thickens, because usually now we transition into the signature dishes for what we reviewed, and we will, but it's going to be a little different today, because
yes,
we have to talk about the story of us going to get Dippin' Dots.
Yes.
So, the closest one to us is at a shopping center called the Jersey Shore Premium Outlets in Tinton Falls. It's like a beautiful indoor-outdoor shopping center where you can walk around. There's like designer stores and there's like fun toy stores and, general stuff you'd see in the mall. But there's also like good little restaurants and a food court and this fun stuff. Ironically, as we walked in, we walked past a Rita's kiosk and we considered just doing that again, because we walked around this shopping center for, what would you say?
We were there for like over an hour.
Oh, it was way more than an hour. Now, to be fair, we were stopping in different stores and checking things out along the way, and, we grabbed bubble tea and lunch, and there was other stuff going on. But we walked around the whole place for a very long time.
And only when we reached the end of all the places that we went to did we finally find it.
Uh-huh. And when we got to the Dippin' Dots kiosk, it was covered in a
blue tarp.
Unfortunate blue tarp, and the freezer was empty. And we walked up to the guy who was selling Doc Popcorn, Dippin' Dots' sister company.
Right.
And we said, "Hey, where are the Dippin' Dots?" And
we were way more threatening than that, obviously.
We said, "Give us the Dippin' Dots! We've come for miles!" We actually did say we came for miles.
Yes. Yes, we told him.
We told him that. But what did he say?
He said something along the lines of they were out.
Yep. They had no Dippin' Dots.
It was very depressing.
We went all the way to this place. It's not like it's that far of a drive, but it's not close either.
It was like over 30 minutes.
It's a 30-minute-ish, 35-minute
going south
expedition to get to the Dippin' Dots, and then we walked around for hours, and then we finally get to the Dippin' Dots, and there were no Dippin' Dots. So, you may have also been wondering why we talked so much about Mini Melts.
And why the background image has been slowly changing over this entire podcast.
Yes, if you have noticed that, congratulations. Because while there were no Dippin' Dots on the premises, there was, in fact, a vending machine in which we were able to purchase Mini Melts.
Yes.
So, also, you might have been wondering why this episode was called Dippin' Dots ? And it's because we didn't actually get to have Dippin' Dots, but instead we got to eat Mini Melts, and so we're going to kind of talk about both of them a little bit for the signature dishes. Then we're going to talk about what we ate, and then what we're actually putting on the tier list today is Mini Melts, because that's what we had.
Right.
So.
But, yeah, we covered the history of both, basically, so.
Yes, you get a double whammy with episode 15.
Mm-hmm.
So, good for us. But the signature dishes for Dippin' Dots and Mini Melts are actually pretty similar. The main difference, I think, is just that Dippin' Dots has more options. Because they are the bigger company. They did it first. They have more stuff going on. They have that relationship with J&J Snack Foods, so they have access to Icy and, like, brand name stuff.
Yeah, and Mini Melts is like the generic to Dippin' Dots' brand name. Which,
essentially, that's what I would call it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, technically they're a competitor, not a generic, but, that's kind of the vibe. Dippin' Dots, for their signature dishes. Obviously, they have everything in the beaded ice cream form, but they have 3 subtypes. They have your traditional ice cream flavors. They have what are called yo dots, which are frozen yogurt in dot form, and your ice-based flavors, which they have an icy blue raspberry cherry thing, because those are both flavors of icy that exist, like at the movie theater or whatever.
Yep.
They also have like strawberry and orange and lemon. Like they have a lot of options, and they have more choices than Mini Melts does when it comes to flavors of the actual ice cream. Now, Mini Melts has ice cream options, but they only had one dairy-free option, which was the rainbow ice.
I was about to say, is that the most normal one? Like the, how do I put it, the baseline flavor? Isn't that the one I had?
It is the one you had. Yeah. So, Mini Melts makes a few flavors. It's a lot smaller. 1, 2, 3, 4.
8.
8 flavors, and one of them is an icy. Like, well, not icy brand, but ice.
So it's like an
Rainbow
Italian
ice, yes. So they have in their ice cream options, which is supposed to be richer than Dippin' Dots, allegedly, banana split, brownie blast, cake pop, cookie dough, cookies and cream, cotton candy, mint chocolate, and rainbow ice.
Yes.
Whereas Dippin' Dots has a lot more choices. They have everything that I just said, basically.
Plus more.
But they have more.
Yeah, I'm counting 12, 16, 20, 24, 25.
So, a lot more options from Dippin' Dots. But we didn't have Dippin' Dots, so we had about 5 choices to pick from. It was the rainbow ice.
Which is what I got.
The cotton candy, which no one got, because ew. Sorry.
Yeah, after the Magnificos episode, I'm kind of like sworn off of cotton candy for a while.
There was cookies and cream, which is what I got. Were there other ones? Or was that it?
There was a banana split, wasn't there?
Oh, banana split, which I can't have, so.
I think that was the only 4 that they had in that particular machine.
Yeah, I think I took a photo of it, so I'll put that up if I have it, but, yeah, so there were limited options to choose from, but we came all this way, and we were like, fine, let's do it. Because it was in a vending machine, too, it was expensive.
Yes, it was. What was it, like $5 per
it was $5
little
each
container?
For the tiny cup, like single-serve cup that you get.
I'm pretty sure it would have been $1 back when I was a kid at the very most.
Right? $2 maybe. $5 in this vending machine.
No.
Crazy amount of money. But as stated before, Paul got the rainbow ice, I got the cookies and cream. Would you like to go first and talk about your experience?
Sure, I guess. Get it out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Like mentioned before, the rainbow ice was like your typical Italian ice sort of deal. And let's see, we put the money in the machine, it popped out, and then I popped the top up, and I couldn't find my spoon, because apparently the whole thing was like, the spoon, it was like buried in the beads, and all the beads were like a little bit half melted, so the entire thing was just like missing, and I thought that the spoon itself was just like completely missing from the container, until I like popped it out in one big big chunk and turned it upside down. It's like, yep, there's the spoon. And then my hand was dyed pink. I mean, all kinds of colors. And then I just like pulled it out from the bottom, and the thing kind of like broke apart a little bit. But yeah, it was also like all the pieces were kind of half fused together, which made me wonder if like the machine like lost power for a little bit and then went back on. I don't know.
It was either that, or like maybe it was at that flavor was at like the back of it, closest to the frozen, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like whatever's pumping the frozen air in there. Because it very much was like if you've bought ice cream and you've shoved it to the back of your freezer and then it gets like that freezer burn kind of really hard, not appetizing stuff going on with it.
Yes.
Plus, were you even able to get the spoon out?
I got the spoon out, but my hand was dyed purple and red and blue by the time that I did, like, get it out.
How'd it taste?
What's a nice way of putting it, honey?
You can be honest.
I didn't really care for it. Yeah, I'm not sure if this like extends to Dippin' Dots themselves, because I haven't had Dippin' Dots in a very long time. But the particular rainbow flavor that I got from the mini melt machine was not that good.
It was very bad, actually.
And I don't usually throw away ice cream.
Nope, never seen this happen. This is the first for Scooped podcast. Is Paul actually, like, took maybe 2 licks of his ice cream, because there were no bites happening, because it was all one giant rock.
Yes, it was like those big chunks of rock salt that you find in the street that didn't break down. That's a good way of describing it.
Yeah,
I keep one in the back of my car just in case it, like, if the roads flash freeze, so I could just, like, break it up and chunk it on the road.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I remember the one I found, and I just keep it back there just in case.
Is it still there?
Uh-huh.
How is... No, it doesn't matter. That's a side question. But, yeah, so the very first time ever that Paul has thrown out his ice cream.
And I also don't throw out food in general very much, but...
he's very big on not wasting leftovers and things. Like, even if there's, like, 3... French fries left from dinner or whatever, he's like, save them! And I'm like, why? And we have about 82 tiny little containers in our refrigerator. So,
and a lot of that's because of me.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, the rainbow wasn't that good. It just tasted like sugar. It
was very synthetic.
Yeah, it was very synthetic. It kind of reminded me of the cotton candy. I was actually interested, like, I wonder how the cotton candy tastes, but I also don't want to spend another $5 to probably not like it, ended up throwing it out also.
Yeah, not worth it. On the flip side...
Yeah, the cookies and cream was pretty good.
Which is what I picked. I picked the cookies and cream because of the flavors that they had, that was the most...
The one that was, like, closest to your palate.
Closest to what I would usually order anywhere. And on the opposite spectrum, mine actually held the correct shape. When I opened it, my spoon was easily accessible.
Mm-hmm.
It was in the little beads. Everything was still in bead shape. And then within the bead ice cream, there were the little chopped up pieces of Oreo cookie, which I assume were branded. I don't know if they were generic or brand Oreos, but something Oreo-esque was in there.
Yep.
And, it was decent. It was not worth $5, and it was not something I care to get again, but it was edible, and it was like a nice little tiny dessert.
Yeah, it was enjoyable enough.
Yeah, flavor-wise, it tasted like cookies and cream, and it was nice that it had actual cookie pieces.
Yes.
So... it was okay. I again, it wouldn't be something I revisit, but it wouldn't,
It didn't offend you.
It didn't suck like yours.
Yes.
No offense.
Yeah, it's fine. That is true. Yeah, and the only other 2 flavors that they had there was the cotton candy, and as I said, I've kind of sworn off cotton candy. And the other one was a banana split, and you can't have that without dying anyway. So, we just stuck to the rainbow ice and the cookies and cream.
Yep. I'm kind of disappointed that there were no Dippin' Dots.
I'm extremely disappointed. We went all the way out there, and they were out. I wonder how often they actually run out.
I don't know. Especially since, like, I know that the bulk, so, like, the way it's served is slightly different. Like, you can get the pre-done containers of Dippin' Dots like we had with Mini Melts, but I think in a stand like that, they have big tubs, because I looked into this when I wanted to do a Dippin' Dots episode, guys. I did all this research, and I was so upset that we didn't have Dippin' Dots.
And you had to readjust everything.
Well, and then before we even had this plan, I looked into ordering them online to see if I could try different flavors, you know.
Like one each or something?
Yeah. So I put them on, it's like, you can order online. So I'm like, great. I put them on my cart, and it's like, you need to order in bulk.
And we're like, no.
And I said, I don't even have the facilities to store this, because my regular freezer doesn't go to negative 40 degrees.
Yes.
So I'm not ordering bulk flavors of Dippin' Dots to my private residence.
Well, I end up having to drink them like a slushie.
Yeah, so it didn't work out with the Dippin' Dots. I couldn't find another place that had it in time. So we had mini melts instead, which, if in fact they did, like, steal, air quotes, the idea from Dippin' Dots, I can only hope that Dippin' Dots is doing it better. Because this was not good.
It was okay. It definitely wasn't like anything I'd ever get again, but it's not as bad as some of the things that I've had, I guess. The cookies... Oh, wait, was it? I don't know. What's your opinion on it?
I don't know, man. I think... Well... Alright, so are we going to place it? Is that what we're doing now?
Alright, so, I mean, we should go down the consistency and creaminess and flavor and stuff.
Okay,
well, So, consistency and creaminess...
Well, it was pretty creamy.
I'll
say, like, the cookies and cream one, anyway, had a good... Like, it had the nice little bead texture that you want from something like this.
Uh-huh.
But it also was very, like, a soft ice cream. I understand, like, maybe that 14% butterfat thing is actually working, because it was...
pretty creamy, despite the fact that they were tiny beads.
Right. So, I mean, that was good. We had a good experience, and the atmosphere and location of where we went was lovely. It just didn't have Dippin' Dots.
Yes. And flavor was, as we said, it was bad for mine and okay for yours. Mm-hmm. You enjoyed it enough, and and when you had your fill, I finished it myself because it was way better than the one that I had.
Yeah.
Experience, atmosphere, location... It was a vending machine, so I don't really feel like a lot of that pertains to that. I did find it interesting how it sounded like the vending machine shook it up from on the inside of the machine. Do you remember that?
What do you mean, like when it was dispensing?
Like, I felt like it was like shaking it all up in the machine to try and like break it up and make it like, you know, come apart, but it didn't work very well with mine.
No, I didn't gather that. I just thought that was the noise of it dispensing.
I thought it was just shaking it up so all the little pearls, like, pull apart. And then, quality and cost ratio.
It's too much money.
It's too much money, at least out of a vending machine. I don't know how much it would be, like, outside of a vending machine, but if they're all, like, $5... No matter where you go, if you go to a physical location, you talk to a guy behind the stand, $5 is a bit expensive for that little thing. So, didn't really appreciate the costs of that.
I'm doing an experiment.
What's the experiment?
Well, I know they sell mini melts at Wawa.
Right.
So, I am doing an experiment to see if I can buy them
from Wawa.
And what they would cost not in a vending machine.
Oh, from the app?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's smart.
Thank you.
Okay, so there's Good Humor.
There they are.
Oh,
Brownie Blast. Okay.
$3.99.
$3.99. So
it's
cheaper.
It's $1 cheaper, but that's still kind of a lot.
Yeah.
For that little container. I would be better.
How is that possible?
I don't believe them.
It says
0 calories.
0 calories per serve. I'm taking a screenshot of that, so we have it.
So you can all see that as well.
That's not something I believe. But in case you were wondering, also, Wawa has more options. They have the Brownie Blast, the Cake Pop flavor, Cookies and Cream, Banana Split, Cotton Candy, and Rainbow. That might be all their options.
Not too many more, though.
The only one they're missing is cookie dough and mint chocolate chip.
Okay.
So, they have most of the options available at Wawa. So if you are interested in trying mini melts and not spending $5 each on them.
But instead prefer spending $4.
Yeah.
Then just go to Wawa.
Exactly.
But then, then we followed all of the things that we need to, like, judge them by. So now it's only a matter of placement on the tier list.
Alright, let me pull up the tier list. Oh good, I already have it up. I'm so smart. Look at me being prepared. Okay.
Alright.
So again, for you audio listeners out there, in case you don't have the visual, the S tier and going down in descending order, we have Frozen Flavors, Ryan's Homemade Ice Cream, Friendly's, and Strollo's Lighthouse. In the A tier, we have Gabriel's Fountain, Nicholas Creamery, Carvel, Ralph's Italian Ices, and Frozen Yo Cafe. In the B tier, we have Rita's, Baskin Robbins, and Cold Stone. We still have put nothing in the C tier, somehow. And in D, we have Dairy Queen and Magnificos.
And that was all in an order, also.
Yes.
So now it's just a matter of where do we put mini melts? And I feel like there's only 2 places that we could possibly put it. It's just a matter of, do we want to put it in C? Or do we put it another one in D?
Aesthetically, I want to put it in C just because I want something to be there.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel
but that's
like
not a good reason?
No. Do you feel like it is bad enough to go into D tier?
Yes.
You do?
I do.
I was going to be a little bit more lenient. I was going to give them, like, at least C, but you're right.
No.
Now that I'm thinking about it, it wasn't any more enjoyable than Dairy Queen.
It's not better than Dairy Queen. I had, my Dairy Queen stuff was better, I would say.
Oh dear. Then where are you going to put it then? Where would you put it then?
I'm even debating, I didn't love Magnificos. We know this. We talked about this, but
did you like anything from Magnificos, or did you dislike it all?
I liked my mint Oreo thing that I made.
Before the last bite?
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't really like anything from Magnificos.
So do you feel like it should go between?
I mean, I at least sort of enjoyed the cookies and cream from Mini Melts.
But you've never thrown anything away.
Yeah.
Before. This was that's bad.
Yeah,
you threw it in the trash.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like we've been very harsh over the last couple of episodes.
Well, you were very nice last episode.
Yeah, that's true.
But also it makes sense because we're going to get more critical as we try more things.
That is true also. So, you would say that Mini Melts is worse than Magnificos?
I would.
Damn. I guess we are really becoming critics here. Mm-hmm. I really can't... You're right, I've never thrown away anything before.
Like, even though Magnificos was kind of bland, it's not like it was bad. It's not like it was disgusting in any way. It's not like...
Yeah, my thing was pretty disgusting.
It was gross. Flat out gross.
Your thing was okay,
my thing was okay.
We would never order it again.
No. If I were to try another flavor to, give this product another try, I would try, the Brownie Blast, because I like chocolate.
Right. But I think I agree with your reasoning on that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
All right. So, is that what we're gonna do? We're gonna call it bottom of D tier.
That's the worst thing we've ever had.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just being honest.
You're right. Yeah, we would never get it again, even if we were I don't know. If they had a stand and we were at a beach or a pool and it was 1,000,000 degrees out, we probably would still just go get water. Yeah,
I would stay away from it, honestly. I do still want to try Dippin Dots. So the next time we're at an amusement park or a concert or a something, and they're there, we'll give it a whirl, and we'll try to do a supplemental bonus episode.
I was about to say, yeah, we turn it into a bonus episode, and we actually test Dippin' Dots themselves.
Yeah, where we can rate those instead. Obviously, we won't do the whole big history again because we've done it here, but yeah.
So bottom of D tier.
Sorry, Mini Melts.
Yeah, did not really enjoy it.
No, not for us. Okay. Well, now that we've been really mean once again, if you like to see us be critical, be sure to follow, like, and subscribe. Make sure you're following us on Instagram. Like all our posts, subscribe to our YouTube, follow us on Spotify, all of the socials, etc. So you always know where to go for your Frozen favorites. And tune in next week for a review of a New Jersey farm stand that uses their personally grown produce to craft homemade ice cream.
Yeah. All right, I know what's coming next.
Will be a lot nicer next week.
Because they deserve it.
Because it was very good. But we'll get to that in about a week's time. We'll see you then. And as always, thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.